Some people enter a room and immediately understand what is happening. They notice who truly makes the decisions. They know when to speak, when to wait, when to walk away, and when a friendly smile is hiding an agenda. Other people work hard, tell the truth, keep their promises, and still get ignored, used, interrupted, or pushed aside. The difference is not always intelligence, it is often power awareness. If that distinction already names something you have felt, tap like. It helps more people find this complete 48-law guide. Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power is controversial because it describes the world as it often behaves, not as we wish it behaved. Some laws can protect you, some can tempt you to manipulate people, and some are most valuable because they help you recognize what somebody else is doing to you. In this episode, we will go through every law, from Law 1 to Law 48, but we're not going to turn you into a colder person. We'll translate each law into something useful for modern life, sometimes a strategy, sometimes a warning, sometimes a story that helps you recognize power before it is used against you. Because real power is not controlling everyone around you. Real power is controlling your ego, your emotions, your attention, your reputation, your reactions, and your next move. Take a breath. Put on your headphones if you can. Let us begin. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Talent does not always create resistance. Making an insecure person feel unnecessary does. Imagine you have just joined a company. In your first meeting, you correct your manager 3 times, explain how you would run the department better, and make sure everyone notices that you're the smartest person in the room. You may be right, but you've turned your ability into a threat. This law does not mean shrinking yourself or hiding forever. It means understanding the emotional reality of hierarchy. Let your work make your value undeniable, while allowing the people above you to keep dignity and ownership. Give credit generously. Ask intelligent questions. Present ideas in a way that helps the decision-maker succeed. And watch for the reverse. A leader who needs you to stay small is not a mentor. Learn what you can, protect your record, and prepare your next move. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Closeness is not the same as reliability. A friend may expect exceptions, mix emotion with responsibility, or assume loyalty will protect them from consequences. A former rival, on the other hand, might work carefully because they know trust must be earned. This is not permission to become suspicious of everyone. It's a reminder to judge people by patterns, competence, incentives, and character, not by how comfortable they make you feel. If money, work, or reputation is involved, define responsibilities clearly. Put agreements in writing. Do not let affection replace accountability. Someone who once disagreed with you may become a valuable ally if your interests now align and both sides behave with respect. But don't use people as disposable tools. Build professional trust in small steps and let evidence decide how much access someone receives. Power line. Protect the plan until the progress can protect itself. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Not every plan needs an audience. When you announce a new business, promotion goal, investment plan, or personal change too early, you invite opinions before the idea is strong. Some people will discourage you. Some will copy you. Others will give you the temporary emotional reward of being praised for work you haven't completed. Privacy is not deception. It is protection for unfinished work. Share enough information for honest collaboration, safety, and accountability, but stop explaining every move to people who are not helping you build it. Let the first version exist before the crowd gets a vote. Also notice when someone keeps their intentions hidden from you. Don't judge only their words, study what their decisions consistently produce. Power line. Protect the plan until the progress can protect itself. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Over-explaining often begins as a search for safety. You send a clear email, then add 3 paragraphs because silence feels dangerous. You state a boundary, then weaken it with 10 apologies. You answer a question correctly, then keep talking until you create doubt. Powerful communication is not rude or mysterious. It's clear, calm, and complete. Say what is true. Give the necessary context, then stop. Silence also reveals information. When you don't rush to fill every pause, other people often clarify what they actually want. In negotiation, leadership, and conflict, the person most comfortable with silence is less likely to bargain against themselves. The ethical boundary is simple. Don't hide facts another person needs to make an informed decision. Brevity should create clarity, not confusion. Try it in your next important message. Remove the sentences that exist only because you're nervous. Keep the truth. Keep the necessary context. Let the rest go. Law 5. So much depends on your reputation. Guard it with your life. Your reputation enters rooms before you do. It tells people whether to trust your work, return your call, recommend your name, lend you money, or invite you into an opportunity. One dramatic promise can't build it. Hundreds of small behaviors do. Protecting your reputation does not mean chasing universal approval. It means deciding what you want your name to stand for and behaving consistently enough that others can predict your standards. When a mistake happens, respond quickly, admit what is true, correct what you can. Keep records when facts matter. Don't let panic push you into lying, because the cover-up often causes more damage than the original error. And don't destroy someone else's reputation with rumor. If a serious warning is necessary, use verified facts and a proper channel. Power line. Your name is built in ordinary moments, so treat ordinary moments seriously. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Invisible value is often treated as absent value. You can do excellent work for years, but if decision-makers can't understand what changed because of you, somebody louder may receive the opportunity. Attention is not the enemy. Empty attention is. Don't manufacture drama or become addicted to being watched. Instead, learn to make useful work visible. Present the result clearly. Tell the story. Show the before and after. Give people one memorable reason to care. In business, attention opens the door. Trust keeps it open. In a career, visibility creates possibilities. Competence decides what happens next. In relationships, constant performance may attract eyes, but prevent intimacy. Seek the attention that serves your mission, not the attention that feeds your insecurity. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. The original law is ruthless. Use other people's knowledge and labor to advance your position. Modern leadership requires a better interpretation. You should not do everything yourself. Leverage tools, teams, specialists, history, and systems. A founder should not design every graphic. A manager should not rewrite every report. A creator should not pretend every insight appeared from nowhere. But taking credit for another person's contribution destroys trust. Own the final responsibility while naming the people who helped produce the result. Leaders receive authority because they coordinate the outcome. They keep loyalty because they share recognition. Also protect yourself from credit theft. Document your work. Send concise progress updates. Make your contribution visible without turning every project into a personal advertisement.
Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Chasing weakens your position when you have no reason for the other side to stop. If you are applying for a role, pitching a client, or asking for a partnership, desperation makes you talk about what you need. Value makes you show why the other person should care. The ethical version of bait is a compelling reason to engage, a compelling sample, a clear opportunity, a rare insight, a warm introduction, or a result that creates curiosity. Build leverage before the conversation. Give the other side a reason to move toward you. This also applies emotionally. Repeatedly chasing someone who gives you crumbs of attention teaches them that you will accept crumbs. Step back. Let mutual effort become the test. Before your next request, answer one honest question. Why would saying yes be valuable for them? Power check 1. What are you revealing? Pause for a moment. Which of these first 8 laws exposed something you are doing right now? Oversharing a plan, chasing attention, trusting familiarity over evidence, or making valuable work invisible? Choose one. You do not need 8 new habits. You need one correction you will actually make. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Most arguments don't end when one person discovers the truth. They end when both people become tired. You can spend an hour explaining that you are disciplined, capable, trustworthy, or ready. Or you can produce the work that makes the argument irrelevant. At work, build a small prototype. With money, show the budget. In a relationship, change the repeated behavior. When somebody doubts you, resist the urge to win a verbal courtroom inside their head. Let consistent action become your evidence. This does not mean never discussing disagreement. Words are essential for consent, expectations, safety, and repair. But when a debate becomes an ego contest, more words usually create more resistance. Power line. Stop arguing for the person you want to become. Behave like that person until the evidence is clear. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Pain is not contagious in a moral sense, and struggling people do not deserve abandonment. But patterns of helplessness, chaos, cynicism, and refusal can spread through a group. There's a difference between someone going through a hard season and someone who makes every season harder for everyone else. One person accepts support and responsibility. The other recruits you into repeated crises, rejects every solution, and punishes progress. Be compassionate without surrendering your stability. Help where help is useful. Set limits where rescue has become a permanent role. Do not confuse guilt with loyalty. And examine your own effect on others. Are you processing pain honestly or asking everyone nearby to carry emotions you refuse to manage? Power line. You can care about someone without joining the pattern that is destroying them. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Dependence can become control, and control can become abuse. The useful lesson is not to make people helpless, it's to become meaningfully valuable. If your work can be replaced in one afternoon, your position is fragile. Build a combination of skill, judgment, reliability, relationships, and institutional knowledge that is difficult to copy. Solve the problems others avoid. Become the person who reduces confusion when pressure rises. But do not hide information to trap a team. Create systems, teach others, and still keep growing beyond the system you created. The goal is not, they can't survive without me. The goal is, life works better because I'm here. In relationships, mutual dependence is human. Forced dependence is a warning sign. This week, invest one focused hour in a skill that makes your contribution harder to replace. Do not announce it.
begin building it. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Manipulators often use one honest confession or generous gesture to purchase trust they haven't earned. That's the defensive lesson. Don't let a single act erase a pattern. A gift does not cancel disrespect. A confession does not guarantee future truth. An apology without changed behavior may be another strategy. The ethical version is straightforward. Use honesty and generosity to build real trust, not to lower someone's guard before exploiting them. Admit a limitation before making a proposal. Give value before asking for attention. Be generous without secretly creating a debt the other person never agreed to owe. Trust should grow from repeated alignment between words and actions. Power line. Make clear requests built on mutual value, not emotional debt. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to mercy or gratitude. You owe me is rarely a strong strategy. People may care about you, but they still make decisions through priorities, incentives, risk, time, and identity. A strong request explains why helping creates value for both sides. When asking for an introduction, show why the connection makes sense. When proposing a project, explain the result, not only your effort. When seeking support, make the next step specific and easy. This does not mean relationships should become transactions. Love, mercy, and gratitude matter. But pressure disguised as guilt damages them. Give people a reason to choose, not a reason to feel trapped. And when someone appeals to your kindness, ask what agreement you are actually entering. Power line. Make clear requests built on mutual value, not emotional debt. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Information creates advantage, but pretending to care about someone only to extract information is betrayal. Use this law as a warning. Not every friendly question is innocent. In workplaces, negotiations, and social groups, some people collect your frustrations, plans, salary details, or private opinions and carry them elsewhere. Be warm without becoming careless. Before sharing sensitive information, ask, would I be comfortable if this sentence were repeated without context? The ethical application is observation. Listen more than you speak. Study incentives. Ask sincere questions. Understand the room before trying to lead it. Research a company before negotiating. Learn a client's real problem before presenting your solution. Curiosity should improve judgment, not violate trust. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. This law sounds violent because the original world of power was often violent. In modern life, the lesson is to end destructive problems completely, not to destroy people. If a contract is broken, close the loophole. If debt is growing, stop the leak before creating a new budget. If a toxic pattern keeps returning, remove the condition that allows it to return. Half decisions invite old problems back under new names. Don't humiliate a defeated opponent, attack someone's livelihood, or turn conflict into revenge. That creates new enemies and damages your character. Be decisive about the issue and restrained about the person. The strongest ending is often clean, clear terms, documented closure, no dramatic final speech, and no secret door left open for the same harm. Think of one problem you keep managing instead of solving. What uncomfortable but clean action would finally close it?
Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Constant availability can reduce perceived value and destroy real energy. When you answer every message instantly,
Attend every meeting, accept every invitation, and explain every absence, people may begin treating access to you as unlimited. Distance can restore perspective. Do not disappear as punishment or use silence to make someone anxious. That is emotional manipulation. Instead, create healthy scarcity. Protect focused work. Leave conversations that no longer need you. Let people experience the quality of your contribution rather than the quantity of your presence. Absence also tests reciprocity. When you stop carrying the entire relationship, does the other person take a step toward you? Power check 2. Where is your power leaking? Look at the last 8 laws. Is your power leaking through argument, guilt, over-availability, weak boundaries, or a problem you refuse to close? Name the leak without judging yourself. Once you can name it, you can stop feeding it. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability creates trust, but complete predictability can also teach people exactly how to pressure you. If everyone knows you will always say yes, always apologize first, always lower your price, or always avoid conflict, they can plan around your fear. Healthy unpredictability means you are guided by principles, not by a script other people control. Do not create anxiety for entertainment. Unstable leadership and emotional hot and cold behavior damage people. Be reliable in your values and flexible in your tactics. Sometimes negotiate, sometimes decline, sometimes answer immediately, sometimes take the night to think. When a manipulator cannot trigger your automatic reaction, they lose part of their leverage. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. After betrayal, isolation can feel like strength. It is often only pain with locked doors. When you withdraw completely, you lose information, relationships, correction, opportunity, and perspective. Problems grow strange inside a closed room because nobody can challenge the story you keep repeating to yourself. Privacy is healthy. Recovery requires space, but permanent isolation makes you easier to mislead and easier to defeat. Build a small network of people who are honest, capable, and connected to different parts of life. You do not need a crowd. You need trusted windows into reality. At work, do not become so focused that nobody knows what you are building. In life, do not wait until crisis to create community. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. The same words can create completely different consequences with different people. Some people appreciate direct feedback. Some experience it as humiliation. Some negotiate fairly. Some collect every disagreement as a future weapon. Wisdom begins when you stop assuming everyone thinks like you. Study temperament, authority, insecurity, incentives, and history before choosing your approach. That doesn't mean becoming afraid of powerful people. It means matching the strategy to the person and the stakes. If you must challenge someone dangerous, prepare evidence, witnesses, timing, and protection. If the issue is small and the person is committed to chaos, walking away may be the strongest move. Respect should be your default. Access should be earned. Before your next difficult conversation, ask what this person protects most: status, control, security, fairness, speed, or belonging. The answer may change how you approach the entire conversation. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. This law is not an excuse to become disloyal. It is a warning against surrendering independent judgment to a person, faction, or conflict you do not fully understand. At work, two leaders may try to recruit you into their private war. In a family, two people may demand that love requires choosing sides. Online, every group pressures you to repeat the full package of its beliefs. Pause. Understand the issue. Commit to principles before personalities. You can support a person without approving every decision. You can collaborate without becoming owned. There are moments when commitment is powerful. Marriage, mission, values, team, craft. The point is to choose consciously and preserve the ability to say, "This part is wrong." Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. People reveal more when they don't feel intellectually threatened. You do not need to display everything you know in the first 5 minutes. Let someone explain their thinking. Ask basic questions. Allow the overconfident one to underestimate your preparation. The ethical line matters. Pretending incompetence to trap someone is manipulation. Strategic humility is different. It creates room to learn, reduces unnecessary competition, and keeps your ego quieter before the moment requires it. In negotiation, the person who keeps saying, "Help me understand," may be gathering more useful information than the person performing intelligence. Do not make yourself smaller. Make your ego quieter. Law 22. Surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. When you cannot win the current fight, refusing to bend may only break you. Surrender can be strategic when it buys time, preserves resources, lowers aggression, or creates a better position later. A business may abandon one product to save the company. An employee may stop defending a weak proposal and return with stronger evidence. A person in conflict may say, "You are right about this part," without surrendering everything else. This is not advice to stay in abuse or accept injustice. Safety may require leaving, reporting, documenting, or seeking help. Strategic surrender is chosen, temporary, and connected to a future plan. Sometimes the ego wants a dramatic victory today. Power asks what keeps tomorrow available. If you are losing one battle through stubbornness, decide what you can concede without surrendering the goal that truly matters. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Scattered effort creates the feeling of movement without the force of progress. 5 businesses, 12 goals, 4 courses, constant notifications, and no uninterrupted attention can make an ambitious person strangely powerless. Money, time, skill, and energy create larger results when concentrated. Choose the opportunity with the strongest combination of meaning, leverage, and evidence. Give it enough sustained effort to compound. Protect one priority from the smaller tasks that keep shouting. Diversification is sensible in investing and resilience, but in daily execution, excessive diversification can become fear of committing. You do not need to abandon every interest. You need to know which one receives your best hours now. Power line. Your power grows where your attention stays. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. Every organization has visible rules and invisible rules. The visible rules live in handbooks. The invisible rules determine who gets heard, which disagreements are safe, how credit moves, and which support makes an idea possible. The courtier understands social intelligence. They respect people, read timing, avoid unnecessary humiliation, and make difficult truths easier to receive. This is not flattery without substance. It is competence delivered with awareness. Do not confuse bluntness with honesty. A truth presented at the wrong time in the wrong room to embarrass someone may be more about your ego than the truth. Learn how decisions actually happen and communicate in a way that protects both the message and the relationship. Power Check 3. Can you read the room? You have reached Law 24, exactly halfway. Notice what has changed already. Power is beginning to look less like domination and more like awareness, understanding ego, incentives, reputation, timing, attention, and the hidden rules of a room. Which law explains a situation you have been struggling to understand? Hold on to that number. Recognition is the moment confusion begins turning into choice. If this is giving you language for situations you have felt but could never explain, subscribe to Rare Mind Audio. Every episode turns powerful books and psychological ideas into practical tools you can use in real life, not just information you forget by tomorrow. And if you want Robert Greene's complete work, the official book and long-form audio edition are linked in the description. This episode is our original analysis and practical interpretation. The book contains the full historical stories and arguments behind these laws. Now the second half becomes more personal. The first 24 laws help you read the game. The next 24 teach you how to shape your identity, manage conflict, and keep power from corrupting you. Law 25. Recreate yourself. You are not required to remain loyal to an identity built during survival. Maybe you became the quiet one, the helpful one, the reckless one, the person who never asks, or the person who quits before being judged. A role repeated long enough begins to feel like personality. It may only be old adaptation. Recreation is not pretending to be someone else. It is deciding which qualities you will practice until they become natural. Change your environment, standards, presentation, routines, language, and evidence. Let behavior lead identity. Do not wait for everyone from your past to approve. Some people need the old version of you because it makes their own role comfortable. Powerline. Your history can explain you without getting to finish you. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Powerful people often protect their image by letting someone else carry the blame, the cruelty, or the risk. Learn to recognize this. If a leader gives you vague verbal instructions to do something questionable, ask for clarity in writing. If a group wants you to deliver the attack while they remain innocent, pause. Do not become another person's disposable shield. The ethical interpretation is accountability. Build processes that reduce avoidable mistakes. Separate decisions from emotion. Do not make accusations without evidence, but never use systems to hide your own responsibility. A clean reputation built on dirty delegation is not clean. Your private methods eventually become your public character. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Human beings want meaning, certainty, belonging, and a story that makes confusion feel organized. Manipulators turn those needs into obedience. They offer absolute answers, a special enemy, insider language, and a leader who can never be questioned. The warning is simple. When belonging requires you to stop thinking, the price is too high. The ethical lesson is that people do need a meaningful vision. Leaders, creators, and businesses should communicate what they believe and why it matters, but healthy communities allow questions, evidence, disagreement, and exit. Build conviction without manufacturing worship. Inspire people to become stronger, not more dependent on your approval. The next time a leader or community promises absolute certainty, ask one question: is doubt answered with evidence or punished as betrayal? Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Hesitation attracts resistance because it tells everyone, including you, that the decision may not survive pressure. Once you have gathered enough information and accepted the risk, move with full commitment. Make the call, submit the proposal, publish the work, set the boundary. The first version may be imperfect, but decisive action creates information that thinking alone cannot provide. Boldness is not recklessness. Recklessness ignores consequences. Boldness sees them and moves anyway because delay now costs more than action. Confidence often arrives after movement, not before it. Power line. Once the decision is made, stop asking fear for permission.
Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Most people plan for the beginning because beginnings are exciting. Power belongs to the person who thinks through the consequences. Before accepting a promotion, imagine the time, politics, skill gaps, and family cost. Before launching a product, plan support, refunds, cash flow, and what happens if demand suddenly increases. Before confronting someone, decide what outcome you want after the emotional moment passes. You cannot predict everything. Planning is not fortune-telling. It is rehearsing the most likely branches so surprise does not own you. Ask what success creates next. Sometimes the opportunity you want brings obligations you do not want. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Mastery often looks calm because the struggle happened before anyone was watching. People trust the surgeon whose hands are steady, the speaker who does not search for every word, and the leader who can simplify a crisis. Preparation becomes invisible in performance. Do not lie about the work or pretend success requires no effort. That creates false standards and hides useful lessons. Instead, protect the audience from unnecessary chaos. Rehearse privately. Solve technical problems before the meeting. Present the clean result rather than every anxious step that produced it. Effort should be respected, but the final experience should feel clear. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. The person who frames the choices often controls the decision. Instead of asking a client, "What do you want to do?" offer two clear packages tied to different priorities. Instead of arguing with yourself about whether to exercise, choose morning or evening. Good options reduce confusion and make action easier. But false choices are manipulation. If both options secretly harm the other person or crucial information is hidden, consent is not real. Use structure to create clarity, not captivity. And when someone presents you with two choices, ask whether a third option exists or whether you need to accept the frame at all. In your next important decision, write down the options you were given, then add one option nobody mentioned. That single act can return the frame to you. Law 33. Play to people's fantasies. Facts matter, but facts alone rarely move human beings. People also move toward hope, identity, relief, status, freedom, and belonging. A strong leader connects difficult work to a believable future. A strong business shows how the product changes a day, not just what features it contains. A strong personal goal creates an emotional picture worth sacrificing for. The danger is selling a fantasy that reality cannot support. False hope may win attention today and destroy trust tomorrow. Tell the truth in a way people can feel. Let the vision be ambitious, but keep evidence underneath it. Hope should energize action, not replace it. Power check. What is shaping you? The last 8 laws moved from identity to belief, boldness, planning, performance, options, and hope. Which force is shaping your choices without your permission? Choose one law to keep. Let the others remain available, but do not turn this into 48 things to remember at once. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a pressure point. Status, fear, approval, security, control, belonging, money, or the need to appear intelligent. Manipulators find that point and press it. Your first responsibility is defensive.
Learn your own pressure points so another person cannot operate them without your awareness. If praise makes you ignore red flags, slow down when you feel flattered. If fear of rejection makes you agree too quickly, never make major decisions inside emotional urgency. If status drives your spending, create rules before entering the showroom. Understanding another person's motivation can improve leadership and negotiation, but do not weaponize trauma or insecurity. Use insight to communicate better, not to make someone smaller. Power line. What you can name cannot control you in secret. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. People often learn how to treat you from the standards you repeatedly accept. Royal behavior is not arrogance, expensive clothing, or demanding special treatment. It is self-respect without performance. You arrive prepared. You speak without begging. You keep promises to yourself. You leave environments that require you to abandon your dignity. Entitlement says, I deserve more without earning it. Self-respect says, I will bring value and I will not negotiate against my humanity. Carry yourself as someone responsible for their own life. The world may not immediately agree, but your posture changes your decisions, and your decisions change what becomes available. Law 35. Master the art of timing. A correct move at the wrong time can become the wrong move. There is a time to push, a time to wait, a time to ask, and a time to leave. Anxiety makes every delay feel like failure. Ego makes every opportunity feel like it must be captured immediately. Timing requires watching the environment. Is the other person able to hear this? Is the market ready? Are you prepared or merely impatient? Has the cost of waiting become greater than the risk of moving? Do not use patience as a disguise for fear. Set decision dates, gather signals, then act when the window is open. Power line. Do not confuse speed with strength. Move when preparation meets opportunity. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. Attention gives energy to whatever holds it. Rejection can make one person, job, comment, or lost opportunity feel larger than the whole life around it. The more you chase an explanation, the more power you hand to what did not choose you. Ignoring is not denial. Feel the disappointment. Learn what is useful. Then stop feeding the wound with surveillance, imagined conversations, and public revenge. Some things become smaller only when you stop looking at them. Your next chapter needs the attention your old disappointment is consuming. Remove one trigger that keeps reopening the closed door. Archive the thread, mute the account, or stop checking the outcome. Reclaim the attention before you ask what to do with it. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. People remember what they can see and feel. A spreadsheet may prove progress, but a clear visual can make progress believable. A product launch, presentation, lesson, or movement gains power when the idea has a memorable image, demonstration, or moment. Spectacle does not require noise, it requires focus. One strong symbol is better than 10 decorations. Show the contrast, make the invisible visible. Let design carry meaning. But never use style to conceal a weak product, false claim, or empty promise. Attention can open the mind, substance must reward it. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Being different is not automatically brave. Sometimes it is only badly timed. Every culture, workplace, family, and community has customs. If you violate all of them before trust exists, people may reject the difference before understanding its value. Learn the local language, respect harmless norms, build credibility, then challenge the rules that actually need challenging. Do not hide your identity or cooperate with prejudice to remain comfortable. Some values must be defended, even when conformity would be easier. The wisdom is knowing the difference between a harmless custom and a demand that costs your integrity. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. An emotional person becomes easier to predict. Manipulators provoke anger, urgency, jealousy, or humiliation because they want you to react before you think. The message arrives late at night. The accusation is made in public. The deadline suddenly becomes right now. Your defense is emotional distance. Slow the body. Lower the voice. Ask for the request in writing. Leave the room if necessary. Do not make permanent decisions inside temporary chemistry. The unethical version of this law is provoking others to gain advantage. Avoid it. Conflict may produce a short-term win, but repeated manipulation creates long-term enemies. Power line. Nobody gets to choose your reaction simply by choosing your trigger. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Free things often carry invisible prices: attention, data, dependence, obligation, reduced quality, or lost choice. A gift may create a pressure to return a favor. A free platform may build a business that cannot move elsewhere. A cheap decision may consume hours of repair. The real price is not always on the receipt. This does not mean reject generosity or waste money to feel important. It means ask what the exchange actually costs. Pay fairly for expertise. Invest in tools that save meaningful time. Refuse favors designed to purchase control. Money can buy independence when spent with intention. Review one free service or favor in your life. What does it actually cost in time, privacy, flexibility, obligation, or attention? Power Check 5. Who controls the moment? Pressure points, self-respect, timing, rejection, spectacle, conformity, provocation, and hidden cost all compete for the same thing: control of your next decision. Which one has been controlling yours lately? Notice it now before the next pressured moment arrives. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Following a highly successful person creates an unfair comparison. If you copy them, you look smaller. If you change everything, people say you destroyed the legacy. The answer is not to reject what worked. Learn the system, respect the contribution, and then create a new chapter with a different center of gravity. This applies beyond leadership. You may inherit a family business, follow a famous creator, or enter a role after a beloved colleague. Do not spend your life proving you are a second version of someone else. Take the foundation, add your own problem, voice, standard, and result. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Many repeated problems are organized around one source. A toxic team may not have 10 separate conflicts. It may have one person rewarding conflict. A broken workflow may not need more reminders. It may need one bottleneck removed. A financial problem may not require 20 small cuts. It may require confronting one major recurring expense. Do not attack or humiliate a person. Identify the central influence, incentive, rule, or process that keeps reproducing the problem. Then address it through fair authority, documentation, boundaries, or redesign. Treating every symptom keeps you busy. Finding the organizing cause creates change. Take one repeating problem and ask, what condition keeps allowing this? Keep asking until you reach something you can actually change. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Force can produce obedience, but it rarely produces loyalty. People want to feel understood, respected, and involved in decisions that affect them. If you ignore emotion and rely only on authority, compliance disappears when supervision disappears. Listen before persuading. Learn what the other person fears losing and hopes to gain. Connect the request to their values. Give choices where choices are possible. Explain the reason, not only the rule. Empathy is not agreement. You can understand a person and still hold a boundary. Influence becomes ethical when it respects agency and tells the truth. Before repeating your next request, ask the other person what makes it difficult from their point of view. You may discover that resistance was protecting something your first approach ignored. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Mirrors reveal patterns words often cannot. Calmly reflecting someone's language can make them feel understood. It sounds like speed matters more to you than flexibility. Reflecting behavior can also expose inconsistency. You are asking for transparency, but this decision was made without the team. Do not imitate someone to mock them or destabilize them. Use reflection to clarify. In negotiation, repeat the last few important words as a question and let the other person explain. In conflict, describe the pattern without adding an insult. And look at your own reaction when somebody mirrors you. Defensiveness may be protecting information you need.
Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. People may want a better future and still resist the loss of familiar routines. Too much change at once creates fear, fatigue, and hidden rebellion. A new leader who replaces every process in the first week may destroy knowledge they did not understand. A person trying to fix sleep, food, exercise, finances, and career on Monday may quit everything by Friday. Protect the direction, but sequence the change. Keep familiar anchors. Win one visible improvement. Let people experience evidence before asking for the next adjustment. Urgent danger sometimes requires urgent change, but when time allows, sustainable transformation needs rhythm. Power line. Change your life in a sequence strong enough to survive your enthusiasm. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Perfection creates distance, envy, and disbelief. When you present a life with no mistakes, no uncertainty, and no help, people may admire the image but struggle to trust the person. Honest imperfection makes competence more credible. Do not perform weakness to manipulate sympathy or disclose private pain where it is unsafe. Share selectively and with purpose. Admit what you learned. Name the team. Let people see that excellence was built, not magically received. The deeper lesson is internal. If your identity requires appearing perfect, every mistake becomes a threat. That makes you defensive, dishonest, and difficult to teach. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Success creates its own danger, momentum without judgment. You win the negotiation and keep pushing until the relationship breaks. An investment rises and greed erases the original exit plan. A conflict is resolved, but you add one final insult because victory feels intoxicating. Before action begins, define enough. What result solves the problem? What boundary must not be crossed? What signal means stop? Victory can make you believe every next move will also work. Pause. Consolidate. Protect what you gained. Leave the room with dignity. Power line. Know what enough looks like before success makes you forget.
Law 48. Assume formlessness. Anything rigid eventually meets a force it cannot absorb. Jobs change, markets move, technology replaces tasks, relationships evolve, plans encounter reality. If your identity depends on one title, one method, one person, or one perfect future, change feels like destruction. Formlessness does not mean having no values or direction. Water has no fixed shape, but it still moves. Keep the purpose. Adapt the method. Learn faster than the environment changes. Release the strategy that once worked when evidence says its season has ended. The final law contains all the others. Read the room. Control your reaction. Protect your reputation. Concentrate your effort. Choose your timing. Then change shape without losing yourself. Power line. Let your principles stay rooted while your methods remain free. Power check 6. Choose your 3. Do not try to carry all 48 laws into tomorrow. That would turn insight into noise. Choose one law that protects you from other people. Choose one that strengthens your work or money. And choose one that gives you greater control over yourself. Those 3 are your personal power code for the next 30 days. Closing. The Power Audit. You have now heard all 48 laws. Some may have felt familiar, others may have made you uncomfortable. That discomfort matters because power itself is neither automatically good nor automatically evil. It amplifies the character and awareness of the person holding it. Used badly, these laws can turn life into suspicion, performance, and control. Used wisely, they can help you recognize manipulation before it reaches you, speak without over-explaining, protect your attention, build a stronger reputation, make better decisions, and stop handing your future to people who have not earned that authority. Write the 3 numbers in the comments and tell us which one you needed most. I will be reading the answers, and your comment may help another listener recognize the law they need too. If you want to go beyond this episode, the official book is linked in the description, along with the long-form audio edition. Purchasing through the book link also helps support the channel at no additional cost to you when an affiliate link is used. And remember the one sentence beneath all 48 laws. Real power is not controlling every person in the room. Real power is becoming the person whose ego, attention, emotions, standards, reputation, and decisions are no longer easy to control. Take back that power. Then use it to build a life you do not need to manipulate anyone to keep. This is Rare Mind Audio. Keep listening, keep thinking, and keep becoming harder to control for all the right reasons.